Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Weekly DLC. I'm one of your hosts, Karosh, joined always by my co-host, Daniel Vargas.
Ring, ding, 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 ding.
And Danny Jang.
Use people.
If you're not familiar with what we do, we come to you each and every week to podcasting services of your choice. We sit around tables, inside, outside, sometimes by fountains, sometimes by restaurants, sometimes with boba. And we each have a topic, usually nerdy in nature. Anywhere between comics, games, movies, whatever is like culturally relevant. And yeah, we talk about it. And this is episode 148
Woo.
of the Weekly DLC. 148 weeks.
Woo.
Going live. Audience now. We can afford audiences.
Almost 150. Almost a 3-year. 154, 6. I don't know.
We're going to hit 150 before the end of the decade. Big accomplishment.
156 is 3 years.
Damn. So we won't hit that before the end of the decade. Or will we? We could
Find out.
We could record all of them before the end of the year. And then just release them after. I don't know. Anyway, we usually do either chat. If this is your first time, we usually do chat either before or after the topics. This time, it's been a while since we talked. Happy Thanksgiving, guys. Did you guys have a good Thanksgiving?
Has.
Oh, yeah.
I had what I would consider a very good Thanksgiving.
Did you have a good Thanksgiving, Jay?
Yeah, that was good.
I had an okay Thanksgiving as well. It was nice. Weather was good. Food was good. Let's go with that. What have you guys been up to since last we spoke?
So
Check your notes.
I had for Thanksgiving. I had a lot of time off. I
Yeah.
I get it off of work. So I obviously looked for a new game to play, rather than
Of course.
play any of the new games I had. So on Steam, I
All
bought
those
a game
sales,
called
too?
Greedfall.
Greedfall.
It was on sale, but it was like 10% off. It was like fucking nothing compared to the other ones. It is very Witcher-like
Really?
in a sense. Yeah, like you
Okay.
go wherever you want.
Third, like over the shoulder kind of thing.
Yeah, over the shoulder. Same thing. Like you create your own move sets. Like you build. Like you can be a mage, a warrior, or a I guess like a ranger / thief. I guess.
Okay.
And each one plays differently. So I'm just straight up like a warrior. And they make it very simple in a sense of like they're staggering. So like if you get enough damage, they'll stagger and they won't attempt an attack. The dodging is very nice. They have like timing dodge. So if you dodge at the right time, you dodge the attack, even though like it does show like a hit or like it shows like overlapping of a.
Is this a new game or just one that caught your eye?
It's one that caught my eye. I don't think it's like new in a sense of like it's been like a month. I think it's been a few
So
months.
it came out
maybe.
2019.
Yeah, it came out this year. Yes.
How'd you
And-
hear about it?
So it came up on Steam. Like it showed up, and I'm like Greedfall, and I looked at like a video. And I'm like, this looks interesting, and I went to Twitch. One person. It wasn't even like someone from the States. Wasn't even someone from the States.
One
playing
person,
it.
one viewer. That's me.
And the guy was like AFK. He was AFK for like the first 10 minutes of me singing. I'm like,
okay,
wow.
before I say that, how many people were in this chat? Our viewers?
Like 3 people,
Oh, okay.
and that includes me. And then he finally like got in, and I saw him like.
When you have a low view count, you don't care. That's pretty much it, dude. You're AFK. Fuck it.
But yeah, it was interesting. And I'm like, I like this, and I got it, and it's really fun. Like I really like it.
Okay.
The whole concept is
Is there any story to it, or is it mostly?
that's what I'm really
grindy
enjoying
RP?
about it. I mean, like
Okay.
everything all around, like it's a good game. Like it doesn't feel like glitchy, laggy, or anything like that. And in the story, you're part of like a well-off family, but like your whole continent is dying from like a disease, and so you're sent off to find a cure for this disease.
Okay.
And like as you're about to head off, they're like, hey, remember to say bye to your mom. And you go to your mom, and she's like on death row, like she's about to die from this disease. And and like the son's like, I want to find one before you're back. She's like, honey, like that's not possible. Like by the time you get back, I'm more likely not going to be here. She's like, but I'm going to be happy that you're going off and finding a cure for like everyone else. Like that's what I'm happy about. And so you head out, and then you realize like that this disease is part of like a race of people that came, and it's meant to like remove like evil people essentially, and you
Is
start
this like a
realizing more
cleanse?
and more.
Or a purge?
Yeah, essentially like
Or a genocide?
because you end up finding like a race of like woodland people, like they're kind of like elf
Free folk.
slash they look like, I feel like they have pointy ears. I can't remember. I haven't played it like in the last week or so, well, like 4 days or whatever. I've been just playing.
Was it just one day?
No, I played it for like the whole Thanksgiving. So I played it to like 28, 29,
Okay.
and then Saturday
Okay.
the 30th.
So just that weekend.
yeah, and then
You beat it?
no.
Oh.
No, there's still a lot to do. There's like the same thing, like side quests galore, and you get
Okay.
lost in the side quests. So, and I'm stuck on a part where like it tells me to go to one location and there's nothing there. So I don't know if I have to keep working on other stuff, and eventually the guy will appear there. But you find out that these people, like, they're natives. They're like they lived in this land, and they talk about like how people came from the ocean and began like destroying everything that they've loved. They're very like, obviously they follow like nature, and they have like, they worship certain creatures. They're like almost like gods or whatever. And the people that came through the ocean were like murdering these creatures because they're huge evil, and like, or like they're very ferocious, or like they're evil, so let's kill them. And so that plague started attacking the people from the ocean. And then you realize like there were colonizers, and anyone who isn't a woodland creature essentially was part of that colonization. Like they're part of the. So then that's why they're all being infected by this disease. There's
I
something
see.
that was created by nature to get rid of what it feels is attacking it or whatever. And so that's as far as I've
Is
gotten.
this a new IP or?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay, it's not like a franchise that like this is the next.
no.
thing.
Yeah, this is a brand
Okay,
new one.
Interesting. Did you do
So-
anything else?
I did a lot more. I mean, I'm getting my notes out. 'cause
Consult your secretary.
There's a lot that I don't know what to do. So in Pokemon, there is a shiny, or there is a Pokemon that I thought I caught as a shiny. It's like a hippopotamus-looking Pokemon,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Oh, this is different than like the standard version." I'm like, "Yeah," and then when it evolved, I'm like, "This is definitely a shiny." I like looked it up. It's like the female version. Like they're both
Oh,
different
the
colors.
male version. Yeah.
Yeah, the male has like a yellow nose, and the female has a black nose.
Yeah.
Or like the it's an inversion color
Yeah, yeah.
essentially.
In hippo down.
Yeah, hippo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
what it is. And I was like, heck yeah! And then I was like, oh no, it wasn't it. What's cool though, what I noticed is I finally found them, like they spawned like out in the wild for me at some point. I caught it like in the grass, so I thought it was like a really rare one. And then I finally, like, I guess on a sandy storm day, they come out in the overworld, and you can see the difference between male and female in the overworld.
Oh,
So I thought
cool.
that was pretty neat.
Nice.
You can't do that with Chinese.
Mm-mm.
And then the other thing is, I found out that Redline is on Amazon.
See, everyone. I know everyone in the world has Amazon.
Yeah, it's
Watch
part of the
it.
Amazon Prime. Yeah,
Redline the anime.
Use people.
Redline the anime.
Because there's
Use-
another Redline.
Use people watch.
No, it's the same like.
Because there's another movie called Redline, and it's a live action sort of shitty.
No, it's the anime. It has that like long motorcycle right off the bat or whatever.
It's a car.
And that's all I have.
Cool.
Dog's going crazy right now. I thought he was gonna jump in.
He wants water.
Good boy.
You're good.
He's like, hot day, I need
I
water.
think you might jump in.
What have you been up to, Jang?
I did my Black Friday shopping early.
Oh?
Picked up the Wario 60. Oh, Super 51, Wario 64. Hold on. No, but picked up Spider-Man Game of the Year edition because of Wario 64. Picked up Sekiro, Green Man Gaming, Steam version.
You didn't have Sekiro?
I don't have it for PC. I want to do mods
Oh, okay.
on
Okay.
it, so
okay.
it's gonna be.
Cheater.
You want to do
Woody.
Goose Battle?
You can't do Woody. They took away Woody. They took away Shrek's still there, and Thomas the Tank Engine's still there. So
You got to get
gonna-
Goose in there
we're
because
gonna-
there was like that Goose as the
that's for
nemesis.
Resident Evil.
Yeah, they should do it. I think
No, they had Skyrim had a mod where
the Goose was.
the dragons were Thomas the Chain Engine.
Oh yeah, I've seen that
So
one.
it's like choo choo, like it's coming down. Dude.
So okay, Sekiro.
The only thing that I bought on Black Friday, and it was a fucking
On the day
nightmare.
of.
Yeah, on the day, it was a fucking nightmare. GameStop.
Oh, you went out?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
you went out.
They I know, dude, right? They only sell it at GameStop. Ghostbusters, the video game. So I had to trek my way, and it was a nightmare. And then I stopped by Target. It was like across the street. And
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like,
Did you get it?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Picked up Ghostbusters, and then I picked up a Stream Deck, and
Oh,
that thing doesn't go on sale usually. So
yeah.
I've been.
You've been
Changed
using
your
it?
life, dude.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, it's cool. I mean, I got to do stuff.
Have you?
I haven't.
I got
What?
sang to because
Oh
of
yeah,
it.
it has auto
Yeah,
tune.
what?
I got sang to. He's sang to.
Oh, really?
Auto tune on it. Yeah. He's the best Pokemon trainer in the world. I needed advice.
Oh, yeah. I'm an idiot.
So I was supposed to go to my dad's place in Thanksgiving, but where he lives, it's fucking sketchy. It's dirt road for like 2 miles.
Oh, and it was
So,
all the rain?
In rain? No, it snowed there.
Oh,
and I
shit.
was like, damn, even if it was paved streets, I'm not driving there. So he drove down to me.
How do you get out of there?
He has like a SUV.
Oh,
Like
okay.
my car, no.
Okay, he's prepared for that.
Yeah.
He's got
So-
chains.
yeah,
chains on chains.
Change.
Yeah, had a Thanksgiving lunch with my dad, and then played Death Stranding. I mean, I was like adamant. I was like, I'm gonna beat this fucking game, and
I think you beat it?
I beat it.
Damn.
I beat it. I just stopped doing everything side questy, and I just focus on the mission, and it picks up. At a certain point, it fucking picks up. I'm
What
like,
chapter do you think for you it slowed down the most, and when did it start picking up for you?
from 4 to 10 or 9. 4 to 9 is very slow. 4 to 10, 4 to
Okay.
yeah, and then because the missions they stop being delivery missions at a certain point. I'm
I
like,
see.
thank God.
Okay.
So,
Spoilers.
very Metal Gear Solid like. Just towards the later end of the game, I'm like, this is very Metal Gear Solid.
And that's what the U.S. wants.
yes,
The action.
yes, yes.
Okay.
I predicted the story, so that guy
Okay.
was right.
Spoiler man?
Spoiler man, yeah, he was right. Didn't make me cry. I was like, it was sad, but I was like, it's kind of cool.
Okay.
Cool story.
Think it's gonna going back to our predictions of game of the year.
Yeah,
You think
for
it's up
sure,
there?
for sure. Game of the year. It picks up. No, so the reason. Okay, so I'm at end game right now. There's no spoilers now. I'm just doing end game stuff.
There's stuff to do after.
Yeah. So it doesn't new game plus, but you continue.
Okay.
I'm fucking addicted to this end game shit. Holy fucking
Is
shit.
it different from what I'm doing now?
No.
Like in chapter 3?
No.
Okay.
I'm just
You
Okay,
don't have a
so-
goal to reach anymore, so you're okay with like going off the
my
broken path.
goal is platinum.
So
That's my
clearing
goal.
sections.
Yeah. So
I feel like Division had that feeling for me, where like I didn't have a story, but I was just clearing a sector.
Yeah.
what's really addicting right now is building the most efficient zipline network. I don't know why. I'm just so fucking satisfied. I'll look at a zipline like, oh, dude, no. I'll destroy the zipline, put it in a new spot. I'm like, this is fucking addicting. I'm fucking addicted. I don't know why.
You heard it here, folks. The old architect is back.
Ziplines. Brought to you by Ziplines.
It should have ended. Oh my god, crazy! This would be dumb publicity stunt. But imagine Death Stranding ends however it ends, and then the credits roll and it says Fortnite Season 3 or Chapter 3 or something. Like the chapters show up.
Don't
Chapter
read
Chapter 15.
Do you think there could be a Fortnite X Death Stranding?
No.
They just have
I'm
Norman
surprised-
Reedus as a main character. And he just
Nah.
has a backpack.
As a skin.
Well, yeah, a backpack is one of the just like the tallest backpack you can have.
That's
Yeah.
I mean, Slay the Spire is more addicting to me, and I would still pick Slay the Spire, but
It's
I don't-
it's worthy of the nomination.
yeah, second.
It's not just Jeff Keighley's
Dude, the music.
love child. Churches is gonna be.
okay. So you guys haven't heard BB's theme.
I think I mean I've listened to the Spotify
Fire.
soundtrack.
Oh, okay,
Fire,
okay,
fire.
you
I
probably
think-
heard
yeah, I
it.
like it.
You probably heard it.
Fire. No, but you know what, dude? I mean, this is a personal thing. The song sounds so much better in the game for
Yeah,
me. Like
100%,
because they have like the
100%.
perfect moment for
Yeah.
it to come out.
Yeah.
And I was like, let me listen to this one, and I went into like the.
Oh,
when you
the
go into your
chamber, the
room,
private
yeah,
chord.
the chamber, and I played. I'm like, this isn't the same. Like,
I want it to be able to be. I don't know if Endgame has this, but like, I just want to roam and have that music just always on, like a Fallout game where the radio's on
Yeah.
and you can choose the radio
They
station.
should.
I feel like they can do that as an update. Like,
They
like,
should have done that.
You know,
Well,
dude, he's been all about Walkman. I don't know if you've
Yeah,
ever seen his
yeah,
post.
yeah.
So they can like an item, like a Walkman item, and then like you're
Yeah.
able to listen to it
From
whenever.
after doing a certain delivery.
Yeah, that'd be so sick.
That'd be
Like that's
good.
a reward. He's our Walkman, man. Thanks.
Cool. Okay, I'm excited to play that. Did you do anything else?
Pokemon,
Mhm.
last gym.
Ooh.
And then went to the Witcher event.
Yeah. How'd that go?
This is how you rate a good event. Alcohol's number 1. No alcohol.
So not a good event.
No, it's still good.
What's
second
number
would be
2?
free food. It's snacks. They had snacks.
Okay.
But was it like
You
just
went to the.
peanuts?
By the way, you should say you went to the second one, the super late one.
Yes. I went
Okay.
to the second one. First one, Henry Cavill was actually there taking pictures with fans
And you
randomly.
fucked up?
Lucky fans. They had
Super
like a,
fans.
I don't
Just
know.
like-
I can't tell.
The Superman fans.
Unless they fucking knew.
The line was crazy,
Yeah.
but
Even
it
for the
looks like-
later one.
it looks like everyone got in.
Okay.
Like it was fucking nuts. I was like, this is crazy. And then I was like, oh, everyone got in.
Wait, were there people there without tickets trying to
No,
still get
you
in?
needed
Okay,
a ticket. There's no way.
Yeah, but like sometimes I guess your worry was sometimes they oversell.
Yeah, yeah.
So
No,
it's
because they gave you assigned seating for the
Oh.
theater. So like, this is where you're gonna sit when you watch the show.
yeah,
Photo opportunities, they had some.
like display stuff.
Like you could be Geralt.
Oh,
You
with
could-
the hair
there's
thing.
sort- yeah, I didn't
You
do
didn't
it.
do it?
Yeah, no,
Oh.
it was the line was long, and I was like, fuck, dude. And then
Damn.
there was a sword one, and I was like, eh. They had like people playing music, like a mini concert.
Oh,
it was
okay.
it looked like the PlayStation experience of for The Last of Us Part 2, where it was,
Okay.
it was an outdoor event but indoor tents.
Yeah,
Swag. Swag. So you guys are gonna have to fight for this one. This
That's
is going
fine.
for $30.
Yeah,
on,
30 bucks.
$30 on eBay.
It's just bottle of wine.
But this is the money maker. So they gave out these like flasks, and you had to drink it. You didn't
Yeah.
know what was in it. They're like, test your might, and it was pickle juice. But that is being sold on eBay for $75.
I'm making money tonight.
And I
Oh, dude.
and
I'm
That's
a
a
witch.
flask?
I'm a witcher, baby.
Or that's just a medallion.
it's a medallion.
Okay.
Thank you. This is for us.
Yeah, I
I'm
got
thirsty. I don't know. If I'm
I mean, I got.
kidding.
I just kept on going around because there was no line, and I was like, "Yeah, so I would like to test out the flask." And they're like, took off my jacket, but there was no line, so I was like, "Fuck!" And it's going for $75 if you guys want to sell it. Yeah, I don't care if you guys sell it or not.
Wow.
Well, thank you, sir.
man.
Appreciate it.
Shwek.
And then towards the end, they showed The Witcher 3.
The Witcher, the show.
Oh, the-
not
yeah,
with
The
the
very
Witcher.
first
yeah,
episode.
He's like, this is someone streaming Witcher 3.
Before, let's rewind. There was a guy in front of me in line, long hair. Public service announcement: please take a shower. Like this guy, his hair was greased up and had flakes, and I just by looking at him, this guy probably didn't take a shower for 3 months. Like it was bad. Like I could smell him 2 arms lengths away, and it wasn't even like a BO smell.
And
It
you were
was-
outside.
It was outside, and
Take
it
showers.
was like it was a sour smell, very sour smell, like a please. And I was like, it's assigned seating, so I'm just thinking,
Don't
please-
sit-
Yeah, don't sit next to me. Don't sit. He wasn't. Next
He's
to me.
like right next to you, rubbing up all on you.
Saw the episode. I can't judge a TV show by just one episode.
it was the first episode.
yeah, first episode, 75ish.
Potential. And this
Potential.
is what's your knowledge and or experience with Witcher as a franchise?
So you told me that it's more it's based on like fairy tales, but like a modern day telling of fairy tales.
It's a
That's
darker
the
tone.
expansion.
No, the books.
Okay.
I'm talking about the books.
The books.
And this is based on the books.
Yeah.
The only book I've read is the one with the short stories, and a lot of the short stories are of. It's sort of like Hellboy, where it's like here's Baba Yaga, but in the BRPD world. Here's in this one it was like here's Beauty and the Beast, but in the world of The Witcher. Here's X, Y, and Z other thing. So
So in the game, there's an expansion where you play the story of the princess and the frog, and the frog is a monstrous frog that is like trying to murder you.
oh, okay.
And I think you do have a way to like save it and return it back to its normal form, or murder the shit out of it. But then you have to go, back to like whoever is asking you and tell them like,
Make
hey,
the moral decisions.
yeah, I wasn't able to save him. Sorry, or like that fool was trying to murder me. Fuck
Yeah.
that dude.
So
It was at the Egyptian theater. What was cool was when you got in, they were like, okay, everyone, you get one popcorn, one king size candy, and one drink. I was like,
Nutties.
that's not bad.
I was like, that's pretty fucking cool. Like, and people are selling like the popcorn wrapper, like the holder for like
I
$30,
saw that, yeah.
and I'm just like, come on,
Wow.
dude, come on. They gave out free shirts during the screening. The very first scene. It's not spoiler. I mean, kind of. Okay, let's just. There's not. I didn't have to sign an NDA. There was like a gurgling noise, and some guy directly behind me is like, "Hey, who farted?" Guy two seats next to me say, "Hey, shut the fuck up!" And then the guy behind me, "Fuck you!" And I'm like, okay, I'm like eating my popcorn, like, oh shit, there's gonna be a fight, dude.
World star.
No fight.
Okay.
At the end of when everyone stood up, they didn't say anything or do anything. I was like, whew. I was like,
So the gurgling.
oh, it was just a scene from The Witcher.
I think the gurgling sound is what he thought would have been.
yeah, it's from the show.
Oh,
I was doing.
I think because they did a trailer.
Yeah.
I think he's referring to that scene.
So, have you seen articles about The Witcher, the show, about his voice?
No.
His voice is very weird. The way I can describe it is Batman, a Batman voice, but robotic.
Does it match well?
Geralt. I can't even do it. It's
Yeah,
so, it's just
that's what
That's how
the game is.
the game is, and, how,
Oh,
and
okay.
the book kind of has it too. It's like, like it's sort of like, I'm Geralt of Rivia. Like it's not high pitched, but it's like
yeah, grumbly, like
Okay.
like there's
like
sandpaper.
Eminem, like 100 years
Okay.
from now.
But it's weird with. I can't imagine. I don't remember any scenes in the trailers with Henry Cavill talking, and he's like, but in the book he says he has full on conversations and stuff.
There's an early review that says fight scenes better than Game of Thrones. Okay. Let me yes and no.
Okay.
The big epic battles, Game of Thrones does it better. The one-on-one fight scenes, Witcher does it way better. I was
So what they showed was really good.
ooh, the one-on-one fight scenes, I was like,
Cool.
ooh, brutal.
I'm already like, it's gonna be even more when the show starts,
Yeah.
but the whole it's a fantasy show. They're gonna compare it to the other biggest fantasy shows that have happened in Game of Thrones. I feel like I don't know. That's gonna get annoying quick.
I think so. The accessibility for me, the fact that it's on Netflix,
Yeah.
you can watch it at home, and the fact that I love. I mean, when I watch a movie, I usually really enjoy the lore when
Yeah.
it comes to creatures in general, and this
The world. All that.
this has a lot of creatures, and that's what I'm really excited about. See
Yeah.
how they create this creature in the world, or how it how he's gonna fight it in general, because everything is different. Like everything
Yeah.
fights a little bit differently. So that's what I'm gonna watch it for. Is just that lore with the
You
creatures.
get prizes for knowing the world of it. I didn't know. I didn't go up there, so I was like, no.
Fuck.
Mm-mm.
What were
you're
the-
like pitfall trap, stink bomb.
Oh yeah,
Monster Hunter references?
Avada Kedavra.
Cool.
Oh yeah, there wasn't an earthquake yesterday, were there?
Yeah, there was in Brea.
There was.
Really?
Yeah. It was
Okay.
like a 3.0, very small. It was like a
Did someone
less than a
fart?
second.
No, because we were doing this magic thing, they made us chant a spell, and then the ground shook, and people were like, "Wait!" They're like, "Wait, is this part of the thing, or was
No,
it
it was an
earthquake?"
actual earthquake.
Yeah, it
bro.
was an earthquake then. Okay, wow, the timing was crazy.
Wow, that's funny.
They're like nailed it. Wow.
And then almost finished watching The Irishman, and I am crazily avoiding spoilers for Watchmen.
You haven't watched yet?
And I'm not caught up. I only
Wait,
seen
did
the
something
first-
happen on this episode?
All I know is hashtag Dr. Manhattan, and I was like, oh shit, I don't want to know. I don't want to know, dude. I don't want to know. I don't want to
There's a
know.
lot of things to enjoy, and yeah, that's something that I would try to catch up before this Sunday.
I'm gonna try to
If you can.
Sunday,
I don't know, that's hard.
It's gonna be very difficult because you're right.
There's
The
like six.
the
seven?
memes and the hashtags
That's
are
easy.
going everywhere.
Easy.
I
6 hours,
think the next episode will make it even more so. but 2 episodes left. That'll lead into, I guess, what I've been doing. Watch Watchmen. Great show. Highly recommend it. I've been wanting to go back and just reread the book and rewatch the Snyder movie, just because I only watched it once in theaters and I was very distracted during the viewing because it was a midnight showing. I ate the worst burrito in the worst way. Like, it was wrong in
Beans first.
the wrong way.
Farted here?
And like the entire movie, I'm just like, I can't get up out of my seat because I was in the middle of the IMAX theater,
Shit.
and like these seats are like compact.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm not gonna get up because I'm gonna miss this. I've been waiting a long time to sit here, so I was like, I'm just gonna power through this. And it was like contractions. I'm like, just it'll pass, it'll pass, it'll pass. And then I bolted for the bathroom after 3 hours. I'm like,
That's
what
the
happened?
worst, though.
It was
You had to go to the
horrible.
bathroom and watch
But
movies.
like the people around me were like that guy you were talking about. I'm like, there's no way in fucking hell I'm gonna get out of these 400 seats in that direction or in that direction. I'm like,
because when you're in that state, you're just like, hurry up, finish.
yeah, I was
And you
partially
miss a
there.
lot.
I mean, I was paying attention when it wasn't bothering me,
Yeah.
like when I could suppress it. But there was a lot of times where, yeah, I was just like not thinking about it. Not, but I want to go back and rewatch it. The show is very good. Casting is great. Story is very, like, it's crazy how well it captures the essence of the original story while reinventing itself.
What's crazy is it goes there, like, politically, but it doesn't feel forced, I think. I feel like people don't feel like it feels forced.
It's very natural, and it doesn't like, it's not like they're just putting everything out like, oh, this character feels a certain way, let them say they feel a certain way. Like, it's not very, like you said, forced. It's very just like everything's just natural, and it challenges you. It's like it challenges certain thoughts, and some things are like it's in the subtlety and the detail. It's really good.
So Trump is in this.
There is no orange man. It's only blue man. There's a blue man.
Blue Man Group. Nice. dude.
Yeah. And then I also have been watching his Dark Material. I am not really into this show.
Ooh.
Mm.
I keep trying, and every time Kay's like, do you really like the show? Because like every time it's on, I'm literally on my Switch. And I'm not like on my Switch kind of like looking,
Yeah.
doing both. I'm like on my Switch. I'm like, is the show like...
Is the show.
And I'm like, I told her, I'm like, I think I'm in it for the bear, the polar bear.
Yeah.
And it's finally starting to do stuff. And then I was like, you know what? I am really not into it. And so I just wikied the story. And I'm like, there's no way in hell I can keep watching the show if that's where it's going. Like, it
Wow.
didn't get, like,
You
it didn't
wiki
grab
the
me.
book? Or
I've
the-
never read the book. I just wikied the book. I wikied the book synopsis. And it was very accurate to what I was like, I'll finish this season. Because there was stuff involving bears that I was like, that'll be interesting.
So the background between that book is the Chronicles of Narnia is written by a Christian author. And it's very Christian like centric. This guy wrote the Dark Materials anti-Christian.
Yeah, I can
It's
see
an
that.
anti-Christian
Kind
kind
of
of
story.
fantasy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I need to read more about like why people enjoy it or something, but it wasn't grabbing me. And I think I'll just finish the season and just
Yeah.
close the book on it.
Mm.
I did see the movie Knives Out.
Ryan Johnson,
Yeah, Ryan Johnson's latest film.
Chris.
Is there a chair with knives?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Daniel Craig is the detective. It's like
Did
he
he
has.
surprise you again? Oh wait, did you watch Logan? Lucky Logan?
Yeah,
Did he surprise you again?
yeah.
Okay.
When he has an accent, he's the best.
Yeah.
So yeah, Knives Out is this movie. It's sort of like a murder mystery, kind of whodunit. It kind of does something a little different, but I enjoyed. The cast was great. Like Jamie Lee Curtis was there. Michael Shannon, I think. I forget his
I'm
name.
not sure.
He played Zod in the Henry Cavill.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's Michael Shannon. Anyway, he's in it. Chris Evans is in it as this like piece of shit, kind of like spoiled kid. Everyone has like this very
The guy from Get Out.
yeah the
Spoiled guy.
detective. Yeah, the detective. He's the detective in this one. And then LeBlanc, he like Daniel Craig's accent in this. If I close my eyes, I'm like, you're related to Frank Underwood. Like it's that same accent, and I'm
Wow.
like, but it's like more enjoyable because he's much more charismatic,
Yeah.
and the role is much more charismatic. But yeah, it was a fun movie. I highly recommend it. I think it was It was well made. It was refreshing how it was told. It kind of kept things fresh.
That's good.
Then I did see The Irishman. It took 2 sittings and a lot of Destiny. I was just like, I need to do something well because it's a very slow film, and I wonder how it would have been received. I don't know how it was received, but I wonder how it would have been received if it was like a miniseries.
Someone sarcastically, I think, I don't know how accurate it is, they said it was like better than Goodfellas, but then said like because it has all the in between like driving moments, all that, where Goodfellas just it cuts to the point of all the good parts.
Well,
Like,
okay,
essentially.
I would argue it's not, to me, I wouldn't say it was better. It was more like Goodfellas was flashier and
Yeah.
faster, and it shows the glamour of mobsters, mafia life, and everything. And it's like, imagine that's the life of the top guys
Mhm.
in mafias and stuff. This was like, when I finished the film, without going into detail of like what happens, it's about the life of a lower level person in the mafia. And like they're good at their job, and they go through this whole thing.
So The Wire.
Yeah, sort
I'm
of,
not-
but like it's like I said, it's a long film, and you see the life that
Yeah.
they live, and it made me very sad. Like it was very, I think, thoughtful, and not glamorous look at that
Yeah.
life.
It's like Boardwalk Empire.
In a
It's
lot of
like-
ways.
Like where it's like true story. Well, we don't know if it's
Fictional
true.
history.
Yeah, historical fiction.
But it was, a lot of it was, so they based it off of a book that was nonfiction. It was a retelling of a lot of that mobster stuff. And throughout the film, it's sort of documentary-esque.
What's
like
one part was cool is it would show a character. And he's like, "This is
Died-
a fat soprano," and he's like, "Died got
At
shot
age
6
of-
times in the head,
Oh, it
1980."
tells you how they.
Yeah, like
that's how
as
they
when you meet
really-
the character, it does that name, and then it does the way of death, and then the age that they died
like,
at.
all of them, a lot of them don't live long lives.
So there are. Wait. So like,
Like as you like,
does it introduce people that ended up not dying?
Yeah.
Or like
Oh, yeah.
died of like normal causes?
Yeah,
Probably.
yeah.
like
all kinds.
I was looking into Joe Pesci's character
Mhm.
lived to the age of 90 in real life.
Oh wow.
keep watching the movie?
I was like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah.
Watching the movie.
Well, I mean, he goes to jail. I saw his Wikipedia.
You saw?
Or his Wikipedia.
Okay.
Yeah,
The,
so-
I will say the makeup for a lot of this stuff was well done. Like,
Yeah.
it jumps through time a lot. Like present, past. Not future, but like they age them even more. And seeing that, like a lot of it was CG for the past stuff, and that part took me out of it. But when they went older, I was like, they did a good job with Joe Pesci, with Pacino, with De
So it
Niro.
shows them young and then old.
Yeah,
the
younger
movie takes
version.
place in like they're somewhat old.
Yeah.
Then they jump back to when it all started, and they shows them younger, but they're still in their like late 30s, early 40s. Parts of it were distracting because like when he's young, there's a scene where De Niro's like, "What happened?" He's like, "The baker shoved me," and he's like, "Let's go see the baker."
Oh yeah.
And like he takes the baker out of the bakery, throws him on the ground, and he like is punching him, and then he goes to kick him, and he swings his arm, and like he's holding his arm the way a much older person holds his arm when he's like doing this.
Yeah.
I'm like, you don't look like you're in your 30s. I don't know. That one scene was it stood out to me a lot. And so, but yeah, as a whole, I think the film was very thoughtful, but I think if it was intentionally made up to be episodic, I think it would have been like,
It's like a 3-4 part series.
maybe, I don't know. Like, it's just weird because for directors to want people to sit and watch a 4-hour movie, I think it's a challenge. Like,
I kind of wish I knew more about the mobsters because if it showed someone, oh, this is like, I don't know if you caught it. There's a comedian in there. He's like, oh, thank you, Don Rickles. I was
Yeah.
like, oh shit, like that kind
Yeah,
of moment.
that's
Like
true.
I wish I knew the mobsters. Like, oh, that's Soprano. Oh shit.
I think it was trying to go, like, I get what you're saying, but I think my understanding of that, or my theory as to why it didn't do that, was it was trying to show people that were not as glamorous, or not as, like, it wasn't showing the Al Capones or those other like high level ones. It was showing like the ones that just filled the ranks for a lot of the areas. But yeah, it was sadder than I thought it'd be. And then what else? I played a fuck ton of Destiny. I was planning on, like, Iron Banner was out right before Thanksgiving break. I'm like, I haven't worked at this at all. I want all 3 of the armors before the break's over. 2 days into it, I got all 3 of the armors. I was like, shit, I'm done. But I realized I had these like progress for specific quests for like PvP weapons, and I was like, I'm making progress towards this. Let's keep going. So I was just chipping away at that progress, and it took I played a lot of it to get it, and I've got 2, like, they're very tedious. It's like get 900 scout rifle kills. I got them all. Get 200 medals for like what's it called? It's not for any medals. It's like weapon kill medals. So I have to get like weapon kills in a certain way or certain types of weapon. And the most common one was this fusion gun, and I was just like, I'm just using this fucking thing.
Is it like the single shot?
Not the
long range?
No, not that one. Not the mountaintop. The grenade launcher.
Yeah.
No. It's for a scout rifle.
Okay.
But I was just like, I need to get this done. So I knocked a lot of it out. I'm like, I think that was good progress. So, but I didn't play much of Death Stranding or Pokemon. I played Pokemon at the gym, and I got like to the 4th gym now. I'm like at the doorsteps. So
Dude, I'm so close. I'm so close to beating Jedi Fallen Order.
Oh,
I haven't touched it. Like
I heard it gets good at the end.
Yeah. I've technically seen what happens.
Was it the Thanksgiving commercial?
I haven't seen the commercial, but I'm pretty sure I know what it's talking about. It's just
I don't watch TV, so
I saw it, and people were like, "Man, that's one of the best parts of it. These things that happen," and I'm like, if that's the hook, I was like, that wouldn't get me.
Is it one line? It's a small scene, like, right? It's just like one thing that happens.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
That a lot of journalists were like, they ruined that. That was a great thing. I'm like,
I saw it in a stream. It just happens, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. I didn't think anything like.
I want to talk about something completely separate, so it's not related to this game.
Yeah.
But when people were saying the Vader thing in Rebel, what's that Rebel movie?
Rogue
One.
Squadron?
Rogue One. Yeah.
When they take the disc or the information, right? The memory card.
Yeah. That one. I liked how the end was when Vader shows up and like he does his whole thing. I didn't like how they showed him earlier in the movie, because there's a part where the main bad guy in that film was like talking to Vader, and he's like, "Oh, no, like you're not doing well." I'm like, I think that ruined that other part. I don't know. I was like, why do they just gotta throw Vader in here, and it's supposed to be like make this movie better or something? I don't know. It was dumb.
I don't watch it, but I like the Baby Yoda.
Oh, the Mandalorian
Don't
thing.
touch it.
Oh, Oh yeah, we've been watching Mandalorian.
I love they dub it with music, and he's like switches the
Don't
music.
touch it.
Like,
Yeah. The only thing with Baby Yoda that bothers me is people are like, there are some people I know that think that's Baby Yoda.
Oh yeah.
I'm like,
So people are calling it, like, even at work,
Because
when he first came out, people were like Baby Yoda, and I'm like, wait, like Baby Yoda? He's like, no. They're like, Yoda's
race.
like a race. And
Yoda's
like,
not
it's
a race.
baby.
They don't know the race name
exactly.
yet. It's
I
question mark.
want Star Wars to be like, this is the name of that race,
So just
so that we can fucking be over with
yeah.
this.
So people are using Yoda as like a race, like Yoda's a race. Like
What do you mean,
Baby
you
Yoda.
people?
How old is that? baby?
50.
And it can't speak yet?
No.
It mumbles, I'm assuming. I haven't
Okay,
seen
so
I don't know what language they talk.
I haven't watched The Mandalorian. I feel like there's going to be a part where the Mandalorian, the main character, is in a very bad spot, and the baby will save him. Like,
Have you watched?
No.
I would equate The Mandalorian, the bestest way I think of it, and it like a lot of people have criticized it for certain things, and I understand that criticism, but the easiest way for me to frame it, it's Samurai Jack. It has the lightheartedness of Samurai Jack, and it has the seriousness of Samurai Jack. And a lot of people I've heard are like, they want it to be always serious. They want it to be darker, more gritty, and when it gets goofy, they're like, it takes me out of it. And I'm like, I get that if
But
that's what you're looking
Baby
for.
Yoda if you're always fucking serious.
But it's also like, what's that Japanese manga?
Lone Wolf and Cub?
Yeah, Lone Wolf and Cub, or like Road to Perdition. It makes me think of those.
you guys are on the same wavelength. I have no fucking clue what that is, dude.
But like, it makes me think of those, and again, Samurai Jack, because each episode he's kind of this silent warrior that goes around, man of few words,
Yeah.
and then he gets into some situation or something. And I won't say you're wrong, but I won't say you're right on your prediction. But I will say your prediction of God of War is not as accurate.
So, but well, hold on. So Yoda himself, like actual Yoda, he's like 500 years old, right? Or
600 at the time of episode 1.
Okay.
I think.
So I mean,
around
like,
600.
He has quite a long time to learn.
When
the Force.
when episode 6 ended, he was in his 900s. I think.
What I don't want is for them to be like. Obviously, we consider the 50-year-old baby a baby. I don't want him to just be like a badass fucking Force user.
Wow. Okay, boomer.
Well, like, he has to be like at least 200 before he's like not mastered it, but
You
like
should watch the show.
using this shit. I know. I'm gonna start. I have a login information.
I would
Watch it.
equate him to Gohan right now.
Son of a bitch.
But then he turns soft.
Not teen
kills
not,
Cell, bro.
not teen Gohan.
He kills
I'm
Cell.
equating him to like kid Gohan.
He still had powers,
And-
he still trained as insane as his fucking
And
dad.
and Mandalorian's like Piccolo.
Fuck, he dies. Is what you're telling me.
Hey, at least he's not Yamcha, dude. Fuck, man.
Anyway, all right, let's get into topics. I mean, it's been a while since we talked, so there's
Yeah.
a lot of stuff happened. Let's start with your
Let's
topic.
start with mine. So I wanted to just do like a personal one, like a
right, I'm
personal
out.
question. And mine is just simple one. What's the most broke or the brokest? Is that even a word? You've ever been?
Right now.
Christmas. After Christmas.
No, and for me,
Before
like,
Christmas?
I'm sure it's for a lot of people. It tends to be like their college years. But yeah, for me, it was going to college in Arizona. Was living on my own with a roommate, and I was living off of fucking just ramen, like top ramen. That was it. I remember it was like 2 months in a row. Like I was eating like just ramen, and eventually I was like, I gotta change this up, dude. And I started like learning how to like cook it with an egg inside, like buy like a cheap steak or like a cheap like
Parasite.
a cheap like flank or something like that, and just like cook it and then cut it up and then throw it in the fucking ramen. I was like changing it up, but it was like ramen left and right. I would go to Costco. I would buy like the 50 pack for like $30. I'd put that in storage, and that was like every day was one meal, dude. That was
I
my
think I could.
scraping through. I wasn't like scraping for money, but like I didn't want.
You had to be frugal.
Yeah, I had to be frugal because I didn't want like to be in debt if I had to.
Yeah. I think.
But now I'm like always going out to eat, and it's not a good thing.
Paying for water at Starbucks. Wow.
We don't get the tap water; we get the bottled water.
We get the good bottle water.
$30 bottle water.
We get that Wisher water.
They filled that up with the bathtub. And Gerald was in there.
Gamer.
That's how I'm gonna sell it. This is Gerald's bath water, and it's like
That was the photo booth with the bathtub.
Really?
Yeah.
You should have waited.
There was like
for that,
4
dude.
different photo opportunities.
All of them had lines.
Some of, I mean, the bathtub one was short. I didn't one.
No,
Should've
I'm
done
gonna
that
be
one.
butt naked, dude.
Doesn't matter.
do it for the views.
Do it for the
Should have gone
clout.
with the greasy guy. Dude.
Yeah, the thunderclap.
With the greasy guy.
He's like, get a shower, bro,
Then I-
Let me teach you how it's done.
to show you the way.
I mean, Jen can go if you're gonna
Go for it.
College,
Mm-hmm.
UC Riverside,
Mm-hmm. Steak.
ramen,
Steak all day.
rice and eggs, and there was a point.
Porn.
Or there's a point. No, there was a point where
Prawns.
I somehow miscalculate, or the financial aid didn't come in on time.
Oh yeah, that
And
tends
then,
to fucking happen all the
I didn't
fucking
have
time.
gas money to go home, like home, because I was staying out in Riverside.
Yeah, yeah.
But I just borrowed money for a friend, and but once that financial aid check came in, like
Back to egg and rice.
I know, 2 eggs and rice. But yeah, college, that financial aid.
I actually never did that. I've like not. I've eaten eggs and rice now as like a meal that I enjoy.
You're like, this is a delicacy.
But like in college days, like my mind was like, I don't know how to cook, so all I did was like top ramen. Now I'm over here like fucking making curry and pasta and
Pokemon.
Mm.
pizza.
I would say college in different ways. Like early college, I was in a JC, and all the fucking books were expensive as shit. And like all these engineering classes were like, get these 15 like 12th edition 900 books. I was like, fuck off. And like I made friends with people. I got the cheap edition that was like international, but it was 6 editions earlier. And it had all the same content, but the problems were wrong.
Yeah.
So I would just like ask them like, hey, can I take a picture of like all your problems so I know what problems to work on? And that's how most of like I did that all at college.
Hell yeah.
And then I would sell the books back and make money so I could. Well, I would salvage the money I could to go
So international books are
at the bookstore at work at school, and I would get like the money they would like. I don't know. Some of them were loopholes where they're like, "Oh, this is the same as the regular edition, so here's your money back."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Fuck!"
Yeah.
I made money. What's your water? And then yeah, later in college, like we were always on campus, and yeah, we were always like we needed to eat, but we're always there, so I couldn't always afford to get like Subway or whatever. We ended up like raising money for our project, for our seniors project, and part of it was barbecuing.
Yeah.
I don't know how we got away with it because we didn't have a permit or anything. They just were like, we're just not going to look at the engineering department, and we cooked burgers, and that was like I was like, I'm working for my food. So like when we were cooking,
Yeah.
I'd be like, hey, get 2 burgers for me, and I would like, all right,
Save one.
that no, I mean that would be my food,
Oh, okay.
just that.
Yeah.
And I didn't have to pay for it because I was working for him. I was like in the back chopping onions. I was like, fucking, I hate this shit.
Can't wait to eat 2 burgers right now.
You see the Reddit where the cat follows the owner and chopping onion? The cat.
Yeah, a lot of like stuff like that I had to get creative with,
Yeah.
but it wasn't like I was on the street kind of level. But
Oh, no, yeah. Same thing with us.
but yeah. But like it was like it forces you to be creative.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was
$20
what-
is $20.
yeah. What you need?
The quarters, the quarters. It's like,
I'm trying to think of other ways I had to be creative.
for me,
Actually, another point was when I graduated college, I couldn't find a fucking job, dude. And
Me
I was gonna work in Knott's Scary Farm as security, and then I got an interview for this job. So it's weird. So I got an interview. I only went through 1 day of training. Knott's Scary Farm got sued, and I got a $400 paycheck from that 1 day of training.
You're like
dang,
eggs and rice.
3 eggs and rice. Well, yeah, I really needed money.
Wow, and you got $400.
Well, that was a long time.
I know, that
got
was
it
much
this
later.
year.
Oh, wow.
That was a long time ago.
There was one thing I had to do. And this was me, like, I didn't know how to get, like, make this happen. I wanted to skydive, and I was like, I'm not making money. I'm not doing anything. So I'm like, how am I going to go and afford these things I want to do?
With umbrella. I'm Mary Poppins now.
No, so I was like, I got to figure out a way to get jobs. And all these jobs I was looking at were like, you need X experience, you need Y experience. I'm like, fuck off. So I
Entry
was
level,
like,
but need 6 years experience. Huh? Nani?
Master degree.
riddle.
Riddle me this, Batman.
So I ended up getting with a temp agency. I was like, any job you find, just send it my way. I will do it.
Any
do
job?
I worked a day in a Nordstrom rack, and I was folding women's clothes.
Yeah.
Mm.
I was like, what the fuck? Is this an origami? Like, I didn't know which way to hang it because it had like things on all sides of
Right.
the shoulders. I had to like roll around one of like the trash things, and just anytime people had shoes on the floor that they tried on, they just left on the floor. I just threw in this thing. I'd be like, that was
It would clean the shoes. And
just put the shoes in this thing, and then they would get sorted back out. It was the longest 9 hours of my life. I was like, I have to do this for 9 hours. I was like, I'm bored after like an hour and a half. I'm like, just do it. You gotta get the money. Then I was like, okay, I won't do that one again. I got another temp call, and they're like, all right, we need you to be a telemarketer. I'm like, fuck,
Oh,
fine.
no.
Office, perfect. I can just sit, chill. I was like, kill me. I hate this. They were like, luckily though, I was one of the people didn't have to do any of the bad ones.
Yeah.
They were people that were sitting next to me. They were like, I have to call people and ask them, do you or anyone you know have cancer or like a fatal disease? Because if you do, I want to interest you in this like meetup or something.
These drugs that won't work.
But it's like their list came from a list of people that they had known. They had researched to see who had been like
They know
recently doing. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like this, and that person felt like the guy I was talking to that was doing that. I was like, he's like, I feel like shit.
Yeah.
I was doing car stuff. I was like, hey, we think you've bought this kind of car. And then I was like, all right, I have to read this template. I was like, I'm fucking, like, none of these people speak. They don't understand what I'm saying. Or this isn't the right number or something. And then I got to a point, I'm like, all right, I'm going to start calling family. And I started fucking with them. I was like, hi, is this Mr. Josavi? And I started saying something that no one would fucking know. And he's like, who is this? I'm like, hey, Dad. He's like, God damn it.
So just to go off of that like you randomly calling, I had a friend who knew someone who had like a special device that changes your phone. This is before we had like it was like a whole entire. It was like 2 times bigger than this like
okay.
recording studio thing.
Operator.
And it can change. Yeah, it could replicate anyone's phone number, so it can show me that it's like they're dialing from this specific number, and they can change their voice.
VPN?
Ooh,
So they
stream
call
there?
and they make it show that it's an 800 number. I answer, and it's my friend with like a female voice
Stream Deck?
thing or whatever. And so he's like, hey, babe, looking for a good time. And I remember like my sister, the little one, was with me. So I'm like, no, like, who is this? And I remember like just like keeping it simple and ending the conversation. I remember like 3 days later, like I meet up with him. He's like, dude, totally got you. You were so into. I'm like, no, dude. Like my sister was here. I was like completely awkward. I was like trying to get out of the conversation.
After the sister gun calls the number back, hello.
Hello?
No, but he was telling me like I remember that he remembers it as it was like I was continuing the
burned
conversation.
you.
He was telling me like I continued the conversation. I was trying to find out who they were, as in like to like meet up with them. And I'm like, no, I didn't know who this was because it's awkward as fuck, and I wanted to hang up. It was like a weird. He had his own story. I have my own story. It was like the weirdest thing.
I also remember a time when some dude called work asking for a dragon tattoo. I'm
Oh,
like,
you
who the
son of
fuck
a
is this?
bitch, dude. He called my work. He was like an old lady, and he's like, yes, dragon tattoo. And I'm like, I can't understand you, lady. And I'm like, I'm sorry. He's like, nah, dude, it's me. I'm fucking with you. I'm like, you fucking bitch, dude. And I picked up that call, too. Because I was like, dude, what were you happening
If you
someone
didn't
else?
pick up, I would have said, can I talk to Danny
Yeah.
Burke? And then I would have done the
I asked him, I was like, wait, what would happen if I didn't pick up? He's like, I would have just been like,
I would've
can I
got
talk
to you.
Dan?
Hey,
And this is
boy,
when I
big
first,
boy.
this is when I started and became a phone rep for the very first time. So I was like
Nervous?
fresh, nervous. Yeah, I was like, and I'm over here like, I don't understand a single word you're saying, lady. Like, I don't know, dragon tattoo. And I'm like, you want a dragon tattoo? We don't do tattoos here. I don't know what you want, dude.
Yeah.
God, dude.
Desperate times. Yeah, that's all I have.
Good times. Yeah, it's good. It's quick, simple.
All right,
guys wanna move on?
so my topic, this recently, it was the 25th anniversary of the PlayStation.
It was.
25 years.
Birthday.
So that's that. And I saw this.
That's that. Next
Next topic. I saw this tweet and I was like, oh, this could be a fun topic. So it was saying, what was your first PlayStation game? What was your first PlayStation console? What was your favorite PlayStation game? And what was your favorite PlayStation console?
Do you
So
want to like ring around? and
Let's
just
do
all-
question one.
Okay.
First PlayStation game that you bought and played.
Armored Core 2. That's my first PlayStation game.
Any fond memories of that purchase? Or
Yeah, I fucking love robots.
Okay.
It's a fantastic game.
All she wrote.
It's only gotten worse in time because it stayed the same. Like nothing. They haven't changed anything.
Oh,
So
with
it's-
like future iterations.
Yeah. It's always been like the same. It's just like way better graphics. So I'm like, you haven't changed anything. The combat's still the same. Like, there's still like you just changed like like your ammunition that you have on you and stuff. I'm like, the original was so sick, and you haven't done anything different. And now there's supposedly talks that there's going to be another Armored Core for the new gen.
VGAs, possibly.
Oh, that might be.
What about you, Jay?
So I didn't have a PlayStation 1. Skip that generation. So no N64, no PlayStation. Those were the dark ages. PlayStation 2, I usually buy consoles for a game. Metal Gear Solid 2
What was your first PlayStation game?
was my first PlayStation game. Super high for it. I played Metal Gear Solid 1 on PC. So I
Oh.
played Final Fantasy 7 on PC.
How? Like ROMs?
No, they actually released it on
Yeah,
PC.
I had a 4-disc set for the Final Fantasy 7
Yeah.
on PC.
And Metal Gear Solid.
Okay, okay.
PC.
I was about to ask, I'm like,
So-
how'd you play? So
Yeah,
Metal Gear
so-
Solid 2.
I still have that.
You
4-disc
got the
set.
PS2 console for that.
For Metal Gear Solid 2 and Fantastique.
And here we are.
Kojima's still making.
25
I mean, at
years
the time.
later.
Now it just fucking sucks.
No, it's still good.
Yeah.
It's better than Death Stranding.
Shots fired. Konami.
Pew, pew, pew.
My
first
first
game.
console, or my first game. I
Your first
think-
console game.
I mean, it's both. I bought the console for this game, and at the time,
Sonic.
I never. So I had Xbox original, and then there was the whole like Xbox Live. But once like it became paid, I'm like, there's no way my parent I can justify like it was struggle enough to get a game purchase,
Yeah.
let alone can we pay monthly for this? They're like, get the fuck out of here. So I was like, there's no way I'm getting an online gaming that requires payment. And so flash forward years later, in high school, I had friends that were playing on PlayStation. They're like, dude, the PlayStation online gaming is free.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, that's a miracle. Like you can do that,
That's a miracle.
and you can play the game with all these people. So I got Call of Duty Modern Warfare just to so I could play with my friends online. We could just game. So those
Tingle sucker.
that game was good. Like
Yeah.
everything about it was just perfect.
Yeah.
Felt fast.
Modern
Like the story
Warfare.
was fun. It's good.
Kind of broken, but
Yeah.
I mean, it was good.
Well, it's like it was at a time when there wasn't so many different versions of like quality versions of first person shooters. I think for a long time shooters were in a World War II era, like the classic, the vintage style, or in the Doom era where it was just super fast, twitchy.
Yeah.
And like it felt like the right middle at the time of like that twitchy shooter with like that classic kind of feel.
Twitch.
So
And someone sends you a message, 1v1 me.
Brad.
that's what I learned about online messages.
Good times.
Why is he teabagging me? What's a teabag? And that's what I learned. All right, so first console.
PlayStation 2. Well, we're talking about PlayStation exclusively,
Yes,
though, right?
PlayStation- this
yeah.
is-
So my first PlayStation console was PlayStation 2. I never got. Okay.
No.
Story time.
The history of,
Story time.
of Vegas.
Story time. I love robots. Preface
Okay.
that. All right. So I wanted a robot. I wanted a fucking robot. It was like this.
Nintendo?
It was maybe like 3-foot high robot toy
Oh,
that did multiple things, and I was like, I want that. I want that.
you
shit.
looking for a good time?
And I had already owned consoles. I had like N64 and stuff like that. My dad knew I was like a huge gamer, but for some reason he's always been like, he's like a normal dad. He's been against me playing games. He's like, do something.
You're like writing an email. Why are you playing games?
And
You're like,
so,
Dad.
so I was like, he's never gonna give me a console. Fuck it, like give me a fucking robot. And then so he
Get
like,
in the robot.
so for that
Vargas.
Christmas. I like it was a giant like almost like a 4-foot tall box, and I'm like, fucking robot, get in the robot.
You got a bigger robot.
Get in the robot, Daniel. And well, I mean, I was thinking like packaging stuff. I mean, it's a 3-foot robot.
It's
And so I
just an
opened it
empty
up.
box. Get in the box of Daniel.
I open it up, another box.
Uh-oh.
I open it up, another box. I open it up, another box. I open it up, another box. I open it up.
Is the box a robot?
The original PlayStation was in there, and I'm like, Dad,
Ooh. It's not a robot.
it's not a robot. I want a robot. Returns it, we get the robot.
Damn.
Well, 'cause
Damn.
I for some reason I got so laser focused. Like I did want a PlayStation. I got
He
so
tricked
laser
you.
focused on the robot. I was like,
Mind
my dad's
games.
never gonna want a PlayStation. So when he got it, I was like, I don't know. Like I was just like Confucian. I was Confucian. You know?
He fakes you out.
Swagger.
He's like,
Yeah.
Swagger.
He might have been smarter than me at the time, but like, yeah, I was like, nah, Dad, that's not what I want. That's not what I want. Like, it's a
got you. That's the.
What
So-
did the original PlayStation come with? Which game? You guys know?
It
I know
had
my
a
uncle
demo
had
disc
one.
with like multiple games. I remember that
Spyro?
much.
Demo of Spyro.
But so we ended up returning that. I got the robot. So I mean, technically, that's my first Sony PlayStation. But the actual one that I got and played was PlayStation 2. So PlayStation
No story
2.
for Play 2.
No story for that. I mean, same thing. Like my dad never wanted to get me video games or any game systems. And one day, I don't know what I did. I remember getting straight A's. It was like a day that my dad didn't work. Like it was super casual day. And-
Stars lined up.
Yeah, exactly. And my dad's like, "Hey, you want to go to the store?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, we'll go." And like he literally walks to like the
You want that
game
robot?
aisle,
Fuck you.
and he's like, "Which one of these is a new system?" I'm like, "Well, it's that one, the PlayStation 2." He's like, "Do you want it?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, I want it." And he's like, "All right, we'll just grab it." And I'm like,
I don't want it now.
What's happening right now?" And I just got it. Just like
Get in the car, Shinji.
get in the robot, Shinji. He's like, "Well, good, because we're getting a fucking robot."
Get to the PS2, Shinji.
No, and I just got a PlayStation 2 like that. And then PlayStation 3, because I saved all the I was eating all the ramen, was able to save up to buy PlayStation 3 myself in college.
So, how did it happen? I think it was.
But what's
I-
this?
PS2?
It was PS3.
Okay.
Ooh, we
'Cause
skipped two.
I didn't.
Two
So when it
gens.
was the PS2, I chose the Xbox R, and that was
Okay.
because of one game.
Oh.
Halo.
KOTOR.
Yes,
PC, bro. PC Master Race, bro.
KOTOR for life.
KOTOR.
I'd never regret that decision. That was the best decision.
Nice.
I still like my Xbox still works. I still have you could burn music onto there. I still have my original KJ's mix.
Like, fuck
And
Spotify. Like,
every time I go to there, it's like Mortal Kombat. Dun, dun, dun. I was like, oh my god, I love my music that I had like when I was 14.
KJ's
Did you ever play
making
Tao
love
Feng?
music.
Makers of Mortal Kombat. It's like an Asian fighting game.
Taipei?
Tao Feng.
No.
That sounds familiar to me for some reason.
It was an Xbox exclusive.
Oh, then
Mortal
no.
Kombat Makers.
Didn't have Xbox.
So I didn't do PS2. I never even when I saw the PS1, I thought it was like an adult gaming machine because like my uncle had it and he just had Gran Turismo and Ace Combat. I'm like, is this the place where you play like Sims?
The whole setup. You guys want to see something cool?
Had VR before its day.
After I got a console, later he got games for his son.
Yeah.
And they were like Ninja Gaiden.
Does he still play games?
No, he doesn't play anymore.
Sad.
But like when I had my N64, I would get sports games, and like it was. I hated it, but I loved it at the same time. I would like love these sports games were fun. It was like NBA Jam, FIFA, NHL. I played all these like kind of like sports games, and Blitz, and NBA Street. And then what was funny was like I'd always be like, do you guys want to play with me? Like my uncle and my uncle-in-law, and I'd be like, they'd be like, no, we're busy, doing adult stuff. And then I would like go to bed, and then I would be up. I was like, I don't want to sleep, but like they told me I had to go to bed, so I'd like come down the stairs and I'd look down when I was at my grandparents in the summer, and I see them fucking playing the game with each other. I was like, you assholes, like fucking like I want to play with you guys.
You're cheating on me?
I was like, that's my console. Turn it off. No, that's what I think now. Anyway, so PS3. I think I had saved up a bunch of money through like holidays and through birthdays and stuff. And like, I was like, I'm doing this. I'm spending this much money. And it was around the time when the Slim came out. So like, I remember the initial one came out, and I would always go to the GameStop and play MotorStorm because I was like, this is Road Rash. Fucking like the next version of Road Rash. I love this game. I was like, oh, one day maybe. And then it was like the original one was like what, $600? The Slim was like $300. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, this is more reasonable. I got it, and I got Modern Warfare. I'm like, that's all I need. That's all I need. And then like demo discs, we got like all these demo discs of shit and stuff, and I played those.
Back in the day when demo discs were a thing.
They're the best. I still have a lot of my
Now we
old
just
demo
gotta
discs.
Download like a 50 gig demo, like
Thanks for playing.
one level that says thanks for playing. I'm like, what the fuck, 50 gigs for this shit?
For this shit. So yeah, that was my first console.
PS Vita. No, I'm just kidding. No,
So-
PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
Oh, now
I went through three. I went through 3 of them. Well,
What?
so I got a fatty disc reader problem. Got a second fatty with the modem. Never used a game that
Like
used, I
SOCOM?
played SOCOM. Not take that back. I have played SOCOM, and then I got a skinny.
You replaced PS2 three
didn't
times?
break. The second one didn't break.
My PS2 never fucking broke.
It only broke once. I got a fatty, and I wanted the slim, so I got. It's like a DS. You got to get all.
I still have my original PlayStation 2, and it's in my little sister's room. She doesn't even touch it.
She wanted a robot.
No, she was playing in the beginning. She was playing Grand Theft Auto. But I mean, she played it for like
That's
a
rated
week,
mature.
and that was- She's gonna find all this stuff out eventually.
the internet.
What's a teabag? We're not ready for that conversation. All right, favorite PlayStation game.
So that's a weird question because
Knack 2, baby.
Wait.
Champions of
Ooh.
North
Oh,
or North.
Nora.
So are you talking about exclusives or just if it came out?
We give both if you want. If it's a.
So yeah, Champions of North was my. It's a toss up, to be honest with you. It's this one and SOCOM.
Is that Might and Magic? No?
No,
Okay.
but it's like it plays exactly like Diablo. Like it's a top down
There's
like
online.
Season?
Yeah,
There's
it was online. And this is where I first learned how to dupe items.
Cheater.
So it was like, I feel for its time, like when I was playing it, it was like a lot of content. And not only that, like the difficulty kept going higher and higher, so I could play the same content with like more difficult settings. And I just kept playing it, kept enjoying it more and more. And eventually, like it got so difficult where I had to dupe like the best items. It's the only way. Like they had gems and stuff like that. Yeah, I used to save everything, everything.
GameStop, $1 credit. Like,
And but it's a toss up between this, but this is the one like that got me into MMOs. Like I feel like this is the reason why I'm even playing like World of Warcraft at all. Well, not anymore,
Blizzard.
but it's cool. We're gone. So it's over, dude. So actually, we're making bigger. But anyways, like I have a bunch of my friends that didn't play in the beginning when like Classic came out. They started like voice chat now, and they're just like they're all like constantly on it. I'm like they're all playing. Get in the bro.
Get in the server, Shinji.
But yeah, so and then
Okay.
SOCOM is the other one. Like it's hard to decide because SOCOM, dude. At some point I was like top 50, top 10, within like a specific server, and I was like, I gotta keep this right.
Damn.
So I was playing. Like I'd come back from school and immediately like hop on and start playing, just to keep the ranking. But then eventually I took a hiatus from it, came back to SOCOM, and like I didn't have that same feeling. And like every other SOCOM game since then, like SOCOM 2, SOCOM 3, SOCOM 4, which was fucking horrible. None of them like had grabbed me the same way that the original SOCOM did. The original time. Coming back to SOCOM the second time also didn't grasp me the way it did the original time.
Okay.
But this one never had that. Like this one was, I never got tired of it. Played it a lot. It had like huge like bosses that were like giants, like a sea giant essentially. And it was like the most amazing thing to me that you could play any of these classes, and it was essentially Diablo, and I was enjoying the shit out of it. But that was my favorite PS2 game. And in
PlayStation game.
PlayStation 2, because that was also my first console.
honorable mention: Monster Hunter Freedom Unite for the PSP. Sank way too many hours on the brokenness. I want them to remaster it with the brokenness. Like, please.
Just port it over to the
Capcom.
Switch.
They're never gonna make another handheld console though.
They port it
Okay,
over to the
well.
Switch.
Damn. Claw method?
With the brokenness?
No more, dude.
Rip my hands.
They come out with like Joy-Cons that match exactly the
Oh my god.
the the PS Vita.
So it wasn't until recently. This used to be my favorite game of all time, but it got. So I'm gonna name my number 2. Metal Gear Solid 3. came out originally for the PlayStation 2. Now it's like for Xbox. Like they have the whole like collection.
everything.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
on everything. It was Metal Gear Solid 3. I mean, and it wasn't until recently, 2018. There's a game that's topped my favorite game of all time.
Can we guess?
Yes,
What do you think?
it's
Metal
a Sony exclusive.
I think I know what it is.
Metal Gear 3.
Bloodborne.
Snake Eater.
Bloodborne is my favorite game of all time.
It's a horrible game, dude.
It is very bad. Miyazaki.
Bloodborne's way better.
Where you
It's
at?
too easy, right?
It's oh man.
Cuphead's easier.
I have trouble with it. Like even going back to it, not a blood level 4 run. I think it's just a weapon. Certain weapons are
Do you
different
still-
tier.
Do you
lists.
think back to your first time going through it and like where you're at now with the game?
I still feel like you can get wrecked, even though like you.
Well, I mean,
know-
like your experience. Like, what is this game? Like,
Hmm.
was that your first From Software game?
No, it's
So
my
you
second.
okay, second. So you kind of were familiar with the cadence of a From Software style game.
Right, but this was a little different because there was no shield. It was all about parries and parry, and I don't know. It's like Death Stranding gave me this feeling. It gave me this weird feeling of dread, like that cosmic Cthulhu horror. Like, you guys haven't fought it yet. There's a boss battle in Death Stranding just creeps me out. I'm just like, oh, this is so fucking creepy, and the boss is huge, and it reminds me of Bloodborne, like this cosmic horror that could be there, but you don't know. And the BTs, if a guy doesn't shower for 4 months,
And then you just die from fucking.
yeah, Bloodborne.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good pick.
Then it taps in. It's just like you're good.
This
So
is
your favorite game?
favorite PlayStation,
PlayStation.
game.
More than likely a PlayStation 3 game.
Mm,
I mean, that's my only logical conclusion. The fact that you
No, I spent-
skipped 2 and 1 and 2.
I played on my. That's just tough.
God of War.
I mean, you
No.
have had a PS Vita.
Mm.
I've had a
That makes
PSP.
me- That makes me not want to play God of War. Bottom of the
Because it's not my favorite.
bottom of the playlist.
The thing is, I don't think my favorite is a PlayStation exclusive.
All right.
Oh.
It's just like
Let's break
games
the
that I
mold.
played on my PlayStation that I love playing on my PlayStation.
Break the mold then.
Nier Automata. That
Ooh.
game.
Not KOTOR, dude?
It's not on
What the
PlayStation.
fuck, dude?
The fuck?
There might
I
be
can break
there
the
might be
mold.
an announcement
Huh?
near 10th.
That game, like, I don't know why or what it did or how I even like was like the
Drawn
interest
to it?
the way I got drawn to it was I read an article on Kotaku talking about how innovative the demo was of like it's a side scroller, it's a shmup, it's a platformer, it's interesting how it combined all these different genres of games in a game. I'm like, I know jack shit about this story, but that's interesting, and I was like, let's try it. So I got the game. And I was like, I don't know why I'm doing this, but fuck it. This is kind of interesting. Let's go along. And the fucking giant mech shows up. I'm like, whoa, okay. I'm like more. My curiosity's peaked. And like the more into the game it went, I was like, what's going on? Like there was these two naked guys and all this other shit, and I'm like, okay. And then the more into the game I went, the less I cared about the mechanics of the combat or just the way the game played, and more about the stuff it was doing with like the characters and the side quests and the story. I don't know. It just like usually when it comes to like replaying a game or doing a second play, a new game plus or whatever that it says for all the endings, I'm always like, ugh, I don't want to do this. It's to drag my feet. I was like ready. I'm like, let's go. Like, just let's keep this going. And I read 100 different things about it afterwards. Honorable mention, I will say, has to go to Destiny. When I first got a PlayStation 4, the reason I was bored. I was shopping. I was like, I had an itch to like get some new tech of some sort. And I was like, you know what? I don't have any current consoles. I've been kind of out of the loop on that. I'm gonna see if I can get some. And I was like, oh, there's a Groupon deal for PlayStation. So I got my PlayStation on Groupon. It's like of all the fucking places. I was like, I was deciding between an Xbox and a PlayStation, and the game that made me want a PlayStation, I never bought. And now I regret never getting it because I don't think it's possible to find it in stores physically.
Capcom.
What do you think it is?
Capcom versus Marvel.
Well, how many years has the PlayStation been out?
Wait, we're talking about
Bloodborne was out at this point, and Bloodborne was fairly new. It was like within a year old, and it's a game. This game has horrible reviews, but I didn't know the game hadn't come out yet,
we're talking about PlayStation 4.
This is like
It's only on
4 years
PlayStation.
ago or 5 years, 4 to 5
and
years ago.
it has like 3 out of 10
Knack,
review.
baby.
and and it's something that I would love.
It still doesn't help me out.
It should.
Exclusive.
It was only. Don't think of the exclusive part. It
Only
just,
on PlayStation.
Well, just don't think about that part. I'm just adding that in case it helps, but I guess it didn't.
And it has horrible reviews.
Horrible reviews.
I feel like
It's a source material I really enjoy.
magic.
Wrestling?
No, you're going in the right direction.
So it's
Is it
fighting.
kaiju? Fighting game?
Closer.
Yeah, Monster World. What is
King
it
of the
called?
Monsters?
Yeah, King of the
It was a Godzilla fighting game.
Yeah, King of the Monsters.
I don't know. I don't think it
No.
was King of the Monsters.
You
It was
fight
like Godzilla fight all monsters maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Oh, okay.
But I was like, this game's coming out in July. Fuck yeah, I'm getting my PlayStation. I'm gonna get this game.
You never-
As it came out, like it was getting close to like this game is the worst game of all time. Don't get this game. I'm like, well, I have a PlayStation. What the fuck am I gonna do now? And I was like, well, the game that made me want a Halo or an Xbox was Halo. I'm like, what's the closest thing to Halo? And I got Destiny. So honorable mention to Destiny because fuck, my life was over after that. So
Bungie.
I bought Bloodborne as well. The guy at the GameStop was like, you might like Bloodborne. So I bought Bloodborne and Halo. Or not Halo, Bloodborne and Destiny. I tried Bloodborne. I couldn't get past that werewolf thing. I was like, this game sucks. I went and returned. And then like several months later, I'm like, you know what? I should give Bloodborne another try. I got it. I beat the wolf, but I was like, man, I wasn't in the mood.
You know, GameStop has that satisfaction guarantee now. It's crazy.
I think I had that membership where it's like if you don't like within 7 days you can just return. I don't know, something like that. Favorite console of PlayStation?
Whew.
It has to be again the first one I had, the PlayStation
Why?
2.
Why does it have to be the first?
Huh?
They only got better.
It has only gotten better, but the thing is, like, I feel like for me, there were issues with PlayStation 3.
What about 4?
Like,
Is it too soon?
I bought PlayStation 4, and I immediately got 3 games with it. I bought all the accessories. I bought an extra controller. I bought the fucking camera. I bought everything, dude. And was immediately let down. The only good game that I ended up getting was Killzone.
This is beginning of
Yeah, this is PlayStation.
What about now?
I mean, it has
like you-
Last of Us.
It has a lot of like all the Uncharted's,
I mean, sure, why not?
God of War.
I mean, I've
Spider-Man.
beat those, 6-hour runs.
I'm just saying. So many memories recently. I'm just trying to challenge your initial thought.
The reason why I'm saying it is because when I grabbed this, I looked at my library of
Your
games.
PP gets hard.
No, I looked at my library of games. My PlayStation 2 is 3 times the size of physical PS4 game copies I have, and 2 times the size of physical PS3 game copies that I have. So I was like, dude, I played a lot of PS2. I had a lot of games for PS2.
Okay.
And so again, it's nostalgia, like
Sure.
I'm only remembering the good parts. Like it might have been super shitty and I just can't remember, but
It had a great library.
Yeah,
Not gonna lie.
so I feel like for me, like it was a PlayStation 2. I mean, like they had Jackson Dexter had.
What about your Vita?
Dude, I bought that shit twice. Dude. I bought it once.
That's how much you
sold
loved it.
Bought it again. Haven't even touched it the second time, dude.
Damn.
Remote play.
That was a waste of fucking money, dude. Holy shit.
What was yours?
Is that a PS Vita?
Favorite PlayStation?
I'm gonna say PS4 only because
Bloodborne.
well, that's a big reason, but I feel like the library for the PS4 is so fucking strong. Like I think it has the best library from but it's unfair because there are some remasters, but I think it has the best library out from
But that only adds to the library of PS4 because it's available for both PS3 and PS4. So I wouldn't consider it as a negative.
yeah.
I say 4 as well, but just because of the total experience. Like it, I think for from 2 on, one of the things that PlayStation had in their advantage was like, you want a DVD player that's cheap, but you could also use it for other things. Get this, and instead of like a DVD
Yeah,
player,
yeah.
and then like a Nintendo or an Xbox,
Right.
Blu-ray player, get a PlayStation 3.
Rest in peace, HD DVD.
Rest in peace.
Dude.
But like, just Katie uses the PlayStation so much, but it's just to like watch TV and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, the fact that it's that integrated into just like the entertainment ecosystem, I think, on top of being as excellent as it is with like games like Bloodborne, all these other games that it has, all the ways like the party chats, the trophies, all of that, just it has issues, but it's not enough to make me be like,
I feel
"Ugh."
like Xbox does that better though.
I-
It does.
I mean,
party
it's
chat
not my
better.
home.
It is. They boast it as a multimedia like center, you know. So I feel like if
But the
you
fact-
had that, it would have been.
But that's what I'm saying is I have had zero complaints about
Yeah.
mine. I have not been enticed to be like,
Switch
this
over.
is missing something that I feel like that could fill, and it just does it so well.
Yeah.
So you might be right, but I feel like I never
that
had to
comparison,
question this because it had built that foundation from each one.
Yeah.
I don't think prior Xboxes had that for me. And maybe now it's in that place, but like before it was like you needed this extra clunky battery, charging port cable. You needed the Kinect. You needed all this stuff. I'm like, I think they're in a good place now. Like all the variations and iterations are
Yeah.
streamlined, simple, but maybe for someone else it's that point, but not for me. So, yeah, that's my topic. It's a little celebration of the PlayStation. Which, okay, here's another last question. Surprise round. Favorite PlayStation controller?
I would say the
PS4.
current. Yeah,
Yeah.
like no, but like there's 2 iterations. There's the original that doesn't have like that bar at the top.
Oh yeah,
The
yeah. The light.
Yeah, there's
Under
like
the
a
mo-
see-through,
the-
yeah,
yeah.
under the thing. The only reason I even have a newer version of the controller is because I had to buy a new PlayStation 4 because my original, which was the fatty, ended up breaking. So I had to buy a brand new PlayStation 4 Slim, or like the smaller version. And that, I don't know what material they used. It feels way better. It's got like texture
Yeah.
compared to the original, which was smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, I just that one feels much better. It might be because it's the most recent thing I've used, but that one feels the best.
Sure.
I do like the
Current
weightiness.
PS4.
The only grub I have with the current is the battery life.
Yes.
It like
You compare
dies
it to
in
a
3 hours.
Switch, the Switch is like
Every night I feel like I need to have a new controller.
So I have 2 controllers. I have that original one that doesn't have that light bar, and I have the one with the light bar, and I have a special pad that wirelessly charges the controllers. So whenever like my things like low battery, I'll be just like put it on the pad, grab the other one, and right back to play. I've not had a single issue with battery on my
That's
stuff.
what's cool is like BB sounds come from the controller.
I
it
love
was a
the
Wii-
headphone thing.
It was a Wii thing in the beginning, but also like when you play Resident Evil 2, your life bar is shown on the light. So if you're in the
What?
red, it'll highlight red. I
Nice.
think that's pretty cool.
There is a game. I don't know what it's called, but it's like you like it's an airplane or you're like a spaceship that moves like in a spherical thing.
Oh,
you're
I know
trying
what
to
you're talking
catch
about.
people.
Rezo something.
Yeah,
Resogun.
Resogun. That one, dude. When you did shit, your remote talked to you, and I was like, "What the fuck? This is sick as
Hello?
shit, dude."
Hello?
It just sounded so cool, like to have like the
That just
like when you got a multiplier, it's like multiplier of 2, and I'm like, "What the fuck?" dude?"
I thought it was so cool to me, the idea of putting a headphone in the controller. Like I could be listening to TV and just be like headphone, and I'm like I can still listen to TV and watch like just for like watching
Yeah.
stuff or playing games while like if I needed to be quiet or something. Yeah, good stuff. All right,
So
Zhang.
DC Studios sent out a tweet. They're befuddled on how to approach Superman, and they're saying that we need to keep it like edgy or make it realistic. How would you guys? Do you guys agree with them? How would you guys pitch a Superman movie? What is the direction to go?
I mean, first of all, I wouldn't agree with them that because they're saying like it's too there isn't enough material or like they've already written all the other material that's possible.
Or this
for them.
current situation that we're in is not
allowing them to
Like
like
how
play. Yeah, they have to play it safe or whatever. Cancel culture is what they're saying. As to how to write
Who
it,
would you cast? Creative.
well, I feel like we should go with the story first, and then we'll talk about our casting after.
Or go with the casting.
Fuck it, because I have my casting list right now.
Mm.
I can do it
Well,
that too.
okay. Is it cast and crew, like directing?
Oh no! I didn't get that. I literally only casted Lois Lane, Lex Luthor, and Superman. That's all I did.
I did director, writer, and couple.
I had
key
some
figures.
ideas of things, but they're all like different pitches.
I mean, I could throw the same person I've always thrown for every movie that I ever want to watch.
Danny DeVito.
Taika Waititi.
Joe Pesci.
Dude, Danny DeVito is Lex Luthor.
Danny DeVito is the sexiest man alive.
Joe Pesci. It is what it is. So yeah, story. What do you guys think? I have some ideas of how they could approach it. I think
Did I write it?
I'm just gonna throw it out
Go
there.
for it.
I think they approach it too flashy. Like all the movies are trying to just. The movies a lot of times seem to go for the larger than life, the strength, like the things where we've grown to know him, the
Yeah.
character as. And I feel like people either love Superman or they just like turned off completely by Superman. That's my observations as a fan of the comic books is. I talked to one person, they're like, "Oh my God, Superman! I'm repping like Superman, like just he's the top." Other people are like Superman's boring, like there's nothing interesting about him. He has all the powers. What's the point? And I think there's so much that can be done with the nuance of like who he is, like the personality, the upbringing, what it means to be an American. Like he's like I mean I saw a lot of the comments of just saying like he's an alien, literally an alien from another planet. So he's like an immigrant coming
Yeah.
in and he's trying to come up and
There's
be
a
great,
billionaire.
huh?
There's a billionaire. that
And then
wants-
there's a high corporate culture that is cast as the villain. I'm like, there's so much in our culture right now in fiction and a variety of places that's a common thing. Like I remember I'm saying that in the sense of like comparing to in the 80s the Russians were always the bad guy. I think a lot of media now is like the bad guys are corporations like Mr. Robot and like 9 other things like you can think of this company that runs things behind the scenes.
Yeah.
They're corrupt, they're fucked up. It's like that's Lex and everything else that's bad about all that stuff, that corporate world. And I think Superman has like there's ways to tell stories in which you can have those big moments of like the clashing, the fighting, the strength. But I think finding a thoughtful and creative way to showcase the emotional moments, the will, the fortitude of the guy, the goodwill and nature, the sincerity of him. I mean, there's so much like the comics have done that have done that right. That do you guys remember the animated stuff like Justice League and then even Superman his own animated?
Yeah.
There was some moments that were like very larger than life. Like he's fighting Darkseid and like okay this is cool. But there were other moments where it was just very just like, I'm here to help. I mean, and so going to my pitch, I would do one of two things. I would have a mini series, and I would have like, I think it was Steven Spielberg and Tom Hanks. They did Band of Brothers. I would have each episode. I would have something be like hinted at, like this tragic incident, like something on the level of 9/11, like that kind of like tragedy kind of moment. And I would have all these accounts, like documentary style, of like people's points of views of what happened that day, and like how Superman may or may not have come in and helped them, whether it was the day of or later on. Like they were like, he came in and this is what I was going through after all these events, and then like he came and talked to me and did this, or he saved me, or like in different ways, and each one of them would highlight or showcase a different way in which he's meant something. And then it would also showcase how he's helped so many people. But there could maybe be one, like one of the final episodes would be one from his point of view, and it's just him feeling like a failure because he's like, for every person I saved, there was like thousands that I couldn't save. and like it eats away at me, and it like I remember there was a comic Irredeemable. It's like a version of Superman where he was bad or went bad, and it's like, what if that happened? And like one of his monologues in that was like, you have to like, he puts this guy that like it's another superhero that's been trying to fight him, and like, and he takes him and he puts him somewhere and he causes 8 accidents, and he's like, you have to pick which one are you going to stop, because that's how I feel all the time, and no one appreciates that, and everyone bitches at me, and I hate it. And it kind of made you think of like, if Superman could vent, that's what he would sound like. But like, obviously Superman's more thoughtful, and like he puts it on himself, he carries that weight. So I would have that be like, it's never enough.
Yeah.
He's like, I need to do more. There's even for someone that does as much as he does, that and that would be like the heartbreaking thing of like, but it would like drive the finale of that miniseries home of like, his job is never done, and there's always, and what he's done, and maybe the finale ends where people uplift him, and it's like, while he's saving, you see firefighters, you see policemen, you see everyday people helping each other, and he's like, they're like, I always think about like what Superman does, and like I should do that too for my fellow person or something. So that's fine.
Yeah, Andre?
Grant Morrison writes it. Let's make it a Netflix series.
Grant Morrison's a comic writer, for those that don't know.
Why do you say absolute? All-star Superman. Let's make it into a series.
Absolute Superman.
Let's make it like The Mandalorian. Each director, different director, each episode. Casting, I don't know who I would cast as Superman, but Lex Luthor. The safe pick is Bryan Cranston. That's a safe pick. But I want to go crazy. Want to get nuts? Let's go Nicolas Cage. Let's make him resent.
As Legs?
Let's make him resent Superman. Yeah, and it's not acting. We'll make Nicolas Cage as Lex. Yeah, also.
I think that'd be good, especially in that story. He's very eccentric.
Let's do All-Star Superman.
Can you give like a quick like elevator pitch of what All-Star for those that don't know?
So, I heard it was created. It's Grant Morrison's version of the labors of Hercules, like the Greek mythology. So it's like Superman's predicted to die. He has to accomplish certain tasks, and he will accomplish these tasks before he dies. And like his days are numbered. And then it's just there's just like really cool moments that just fucking there's time travel. There's like all kinds of shit.
And like each issue deals with one of those.
Yeah, each issue is a labor of Superman.
I think that would be a great one.
There's just like a really cool moment where there's a villain named Parasite, and he feeds off energy, and he's in the jail where Lex Luthor's at, and Clark Kent's there interviewing Lex Luthor, and Parasite can feel Superman's energy, and Superman has to act like, Clark Kent has to act like an idiot because he's like, oh shit, he's after me. He knows he's coming for my energy, and he's destroying the jail, and he's like making shit happens, hitting like Lex, so
like subtly. Like the way the artist drew this, it made it believable that Clark Kent would not be thought of as Superman. The posturing of the character, the hair, the look, it just looks like this
nerdy,
like man that's not in the right body. He's just sensitive and quiet and clumsy and goofy, and like he's just like hunched over, shoulders rolled. And when he's Superman, it's like the complete opposite, like big broad chest, nice hair. Like it's very believable. So,
and like the cover of the first issue is like him sitting in the clouds, like just chilling.
As
dude.
Superman?
that was inspired. Yeah, that's as Superman. That was inspired by
cosplay.
him and Mark Waid. Saw this cosplayer, and the cosplayer acted like he was Superman, and they just started asking him questions, like why do you this, why that, and they're like, it was fascinating to both of them, and they're like, Grant Morrison, I'm gonna run with this, and I think it set him off to write this.
Oh wow!
Because he like has moments where
that's like an honor for that guy, the cosplayer, like to be someone who sparked that interest in them.
And well, it's like he's so believable too, you know. There's very intimate moments, and there's very like just these grand moments, and it captures all aspects of like what makes Superman super. Do you have any?
Yeah, I'm horrible at writing,
No.
so really didn't have anything, so I'm just coming up with it now. So I do want like a there to be an age thing. So it's an older thing versus a younger thing. So I would have Superman be older.
Okay.
Casted by Nikolai Coster-Waldau.
Oh, Jamie Lannister.
Yeah, Jamie Lannister. Yeah, I was like looking
That's
at
not
different
bad.
people, and I saw he had like some white hair
Yeah.
going on. So I was like, white bearded Superman, looking good for me, looking good to me. And then I would have Lex Luthor be the young version, or be the young person, and he would be Nicholas Hoult,
Yeah,
the
okay.
guy who plays the Beast in X-Men.
Hmm.
Bald version of him looks.
I have a personal thing. I don't really like him in
He
roles,
doesn't
but
like
I
you
could
either.
see him in that role.
Doesn't like you either.
Yeah,
So he would
we don't
play
have,
like
we
the-
got beef.
He would play like the young
Nicholas Cage, not Holt.
Nicholas or the Lex Luthor. He would play like the young, just got of like out of fuck. What's the name of the California rich area?
Beverly Hills?
No, for
Silicon
entrepreneurs,
Valley?
Silicon Valley.
Oh.
He's like the young, just got out of Silicon Valley type of entrepreneur who's
Mark Zuckerberg.
yeah. He's
Elon
already
Musk.
like he's already a billionaire. He's already at that point, getting out of like Silicon Valley. He's expanding and everything. And he's like the type of guy, very young, very naive. He's thinking like he can change the world, but you know, like he not that he cuts corners, but he does things incorrectly. Like, you know, like, oh, I do want to like save the, you know, the planet, stop climate change, but like he creates factories that just cause more of this issue, stuff like that. And Superman's this old guy. He's just like, not old, but like he's older now, and he's getting tired. He's like, I don't want to deal with this shit anymore. Like, I don't want to have to like. So he's allowing like Lex Luthor to like kind of take the lead in like trying to be a good guy, but things are just going horribly wrong, and he has to just go and kind of fix it. And it kind of just obviously commits to a point where it's like, I'm tired of this shit. Like, he keeps fucking everything up. He's an idiot. So he just like, I don't know, beats him up or something. Puts him in his place. I don't know.
That's
Where I'm
not
going with
Superman. That's your deep.
So, again, I don't know. I'm not a good
Mark
writer.
Waid has made so. Mark Waid wrote for Superman.
Birthright?
He made this thing called Strange Fruit. So the concept of Strange Fruit is: what if Superman didn't come in as a baby, as a grown man, landed in a plantation, slave plantation, but Superman was black.
Okay.
He made a story called Strange Fruit.
Is that recent?
This was like 6-7 years ago.
Oh wow. Okay.
That's an interesting take.
Yeah.
Can we expand on what we like? Do you know like how he written like most of that, or
I only read the first issue.
Okay.
and Never picked.
because I feel like if anyone is gonna be like, hey man, work for me, and he's like, what? No, like he's already like super strong, and he just beats the shit out of these plantation masters.
The other story I was kind of gonna go off of, which is one of like it turned me into a Superman fan.
Mm-hmm.
I was always skeptical. I'm like, I don't like these comics. They don't have anything compelling. There's just like a giant monster or a robot or something. And I read this indie comic. It was a Vertigo comic called It's a Bird. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it. It was a one-off kind of like graphic novel. It was a comic book writer. It's a comic book about a comic book writer, and he's being offered the opportunity to write Superman for DC. And
True story?
yeah. And he's like, no. And they're like, what? Like, dude, like take this job.
Yeah,
like
it's
this
like
is
one
a
of the
great
Stepping stone.
this is a great job. Like you get to write Superman. Like this is what comic book writers dream of.
Yeah.
And he's like, what's so special about Superman? And so like he's in the comic, he's trying to figure that out, but also occasion like there'll be one-page comics of him trying to explore or his observations of one aspect of
who he
Superman.
is.
Like he's like the color scheme, and so like it's titled Color Scheme, and it goes through his thinking of like why did these colors get picked? Is it
Red.
because of America? Is it because of what does blue make me think of? What is red? Why are these colors so primary? And why And then another one's about the Fortress of Solitude, and he writes like another version of the Fortress of Solitude where it's like an old man that's cranky and just wants to be left alone, and he keeps sealing himself up, and then eventually he's like just gets old and he's alone, and he's like he doesn't think of the Fortress of Solitude as something grand and glorious. He thinks of it as like isolating and shitty.
Yeah.
And throughout
Being
this story, the writer's also dealing with him and his family are dealing with some medical issues that are part of the story, and there's like a subplot to that, and it's a crux of why he thinks this a lot of the things. But in writing this story, it made me interested in all these different aspects of Superman. And I thought it was really cool. Like, it was an interesting analysis of all these factors, and I'd be like, that'd be a cool way to like meta write about Superman, is like have a story about like
Why?
why a Grant Morrison person or a Mark Waid, like they can have someone being that kind of like comic book writer and have it be that.
There's such a cool moment in Grant Morrison's All-Star Superman, The Fortress of Solitude. He leaves the key on the floor, and Lois is like, "Wait, why do you leave the key just right there? Can you pick it up?" It's like fucking tons.
It's made of like this planetary material that weighs like metric. It weighs the mass of Jupiter or some shit. He's like, only I can pick this shit up.
Oh, dude, there's such a cool one where it shows Bizarro, and he's trying to like reach like Earth, and then there's Reverse Flash. He's like super slow. He's like, "Oh no, I'll catch up to you." It's just like,
There's so many great moments in this thing. Like, it shows him, like, there's so much going on in the town. It's New York, in Metropolis, which is like New York. So much going on, and there's like, he hears. It's just such a sincere moment. He hears this girl, and she's like on the verge of a building, like thinking of jumping.
Yeah.
And like he goes, and he's just like, "I'm here. Like, I just want to talk. Like, let's talk this out. You don't have to. Don't do this." And he's not like stopping her, but he's like, "I'm here to listen. Like, you seem like you don't have anyone that will listen to your." Like, it was such a, like the way it was framed and everything, it was so good. That's one of those like nice moments.
Yeah.
That I had. And all these other stuff. Yeah, I think there's the potential's there for so many different versions of this. I think it's just like, it's such a big property for them. They don't want to think small or smaller. But even with like any of these, I'm like, if they did like an HBO 10 episode of All-Star Superman, fucking phenomenal. It would be insane.
I think it's more that they don't want to make it small. I think they're afraid of like
They want a sure thing.
choosing the wrong subject to work on within the movie, and then it being like a backfiring because like no one wants to see this.
But it's already backfired so many times for them.
And that's why they don't want to continue like making more. So that's why. I think
But
they're
those are
saying,
the decisions that, like, the thought process has led. Like, it's a cycle. I
Yeah.
feel like they're thinking. I'm guessing they keep thinking a certain way, and it's causing them to make the mistake that they're trying to prevent. And then they're like, "Okay, we got to prevent that. Well, let's keep thinking." It's
So
like,
stop adding those restrictions. Stop being afraid, and just kind of go with
they
it.
gotta
something
hire
bold.
a good creative team
and give them control.
Yes, yes. Don't fucking baby.
I think that full control is going to be not happening.
I think they got to get someone with like Christopher Nolan clout. Like, I made you money. Fucking just let me do my shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what it has to take.
Yeah.
I think like someone.
Martin Scorsese, the Irish.
The
Use
me-
people.
Fucking 3.5 hour
Apologize.
fucking Superman movie.
Watching it as intended for.
I paint houses.
On
That movie.
Nintendo fucking DS, dude. As he intended.
Yeah, as intended.
Who would you hire as a director? Who could save it? Christopher Nolan.
I could, Christopher Nolan would be one of my picks. I think Steven Spielberg would do something cool.
I'm gonna go different. I'm gonna pick a Mexican director because Superman's an
Alfonso
immigrant.
Cuarón?
Yeah,
Oh fuck yeah,
dude. I
He
think
would
he could make a
kill it.
crazy story.
he would kill it.
He would
I
make
feel like Guillermo del Toro would make it weird.
You know, I'll go a different route. Hideo Kojima.
baby.
You see Papa Kent like
I feel like if he does like make a Superman movie, he'd have like Norman Reedus like in the background, like just run through a scene with Betty on his.
Mads
Okay.
Mikkelsen should be Lex.
Ooh.
Okay, I thought you were gonna say this guy. What's his name? John Hamm has wanted to be Superman, but there was a skit he did where he was bald. He was a perfect Lex Luthor. Perfect. His Mad Men character,
Yeah.
but just bald and in Metropolis. I think another cool story could be, it wouldn't have to be a Superman movie, but it could be like a side thing, but it would be really good, is a story of Pa and Ma Kent and like how the challenge of raising like
Brightburn.
okay, never mind. Scratch that idea. I was just trying to think of like a way where it's not so much Smallville where it's like teenage Superman, but more like periods in like I know American Son, the Max Landis story was like
that would be a cool movie.
stories of Superman at different ages growing up. I wanted to see it from the parents' perspective and like the challenges and the.
Well, I was thinking about Red Son.
Oh no! The Max Landis one.
American Alien.
Alien. That's it. Yeah, American Alien. Anyway,
Oh, he's canceled though. So
Aaron.
Kingdom Come would be another.
Oh
one.
hell yeah! Kingdom.
So
Come's
they're
a great
making
story.
Kingdom Come.
They're doing
on the
Crisis.
show.
They're doing Crisis of Infinite Earth.
Kevin
And-
Conroy is
and-
Batman.
Yeah, he's Batman.
He's gonna play Batman.
Oh shit!
Kingdom Come Batman.
And then the guy that was he was a prior Superman is coming back. I forget what.
Tom Welling.
No, he's coming back. This other one's coming back as Kingdom Come Superman. He was in the Bryan Singer Superman movie with Kevin
Brandon
Spacey.
Roth.
Brandon Roth, yeah. He's coming back as like this
Interesting.
older Superman. So I'm like, I wonder if he'll be cranky and beat the shit out of
Oh.
people.
Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
I always have a problem with. There's some Superman stories. Like I mean, Dark Knight Returns, where they make Superman becomes a puppet of the government.
That's Frank Miller.
I
think it's his
I
style.
don't agree. I don't agree. I don't think Superman would be like that. But
Yeah.
Is there a story where like they use media to like fight Superman? Like they make him look bad, even though he
Luther,
doesn't do-
maybe.
Yeah, he's done it all the time. I
Okay.
think he's yeah.
Because that's
There's a
literally
story
one of the ones I was like, Luther fucking uses media to make him.
There was a
look bad.
good there was a really good comic from Brian Azzarello where it's called
Yeah.
Luther.
Luther, yeah.
And it was from the point of view of Lex Luthor the whole time, and like you see the flaws in his logic, but you see a lot of his points too, where he's like, Superman.
Is one bad day away from being a villain.
Well, that plus also he's like him being around makes people lazy, and I hate that because he's like
Wow.
I built myself up,
Yeah.
and like I've built this empire, and I'm that potential that any human could be this.
Like having the technology.
but like
is,
this guy is here, and he's just doing it for them.
And he has a robot companion.
Get in the robot, Shinji.
Get in the
Oh, yeah,
robot,
he gets in-
Shinji.
he gets in. Oh, he gets in the robot.
But it shows his like anger towards him as like this thing that's preventing mankind. But
From
obviously,
selling.
like that's his altruistic way. He has his selfish stuff too, and that gets in the way of
He's
things.
like, he's
that
better than
that
me?
makes him who he is. But anyway, yeah, it's interesting. There's a lot of good stories. DC, I hope you're listening
But
to
they're
any
not.
one of us. Danny
we
DeVito.
didn't, we didn't tell him who we're sponsored by.
By recycling. Like, don't recycle bad Superman stories.
Yes.
Use good ones.
Yes.
Recycling. Like this episode. And prior episodes where sometimes we recycle topics.
Are we about to recycle an ending?
And editing?
An ending?
An ending? We might recycle an ending. Where can people recycle find you?
Find me at the Filio everywhere, but not really.
Just the Fulio?
That's why, not really. The Filio 365 on Instagram and the Filio
You've
everywhere
said it
else.
sometimes. Fine. Sure.
At the last boss is everywhere.
You can find me at Kucher Prime. You can find us all at the Weekly DLC. If you have any questions, make a podcast.
We'll be at the
and
Game
let us know.
Awards.
Make a podcast and add us.
We're going to be at the Game Awards Thursday, not clapping to stuff.
Yeah. Look for us in the crowd. We might be presenting one of the awards for
Also-
most downloaded best DLC of the year. Yeah.
Weekly DLC.
So yeah, this will go up after anyway. So hopefully you saw us at the Game Awards. Until next time, we'll
DLC.
You later.